Did you know that the Seattle Seahawks had the second most snaps played by rookies this season with 4,868, while also having the second most starts by rookies this season with 70? To say the least, the Seahawks got great production from their rookie class this season, and what better player to start with than Kenneth Walker III? But before we dig into the numbers, let's take a look at this play. I love running backs who have a feel for the game, so he bounces it to the outside, only to run into more Raiders, so he then has to bounce it out a little further, and just as soon as he thinks he has a crease, he then has to bounce it one more time. But that run right there just shows you the excellent feel he has for the game. Kenneth Walker took over for Rashad Penny in week 6 after he was injured, and he never looked back after that. He was this team's leading rusher and was just the spark that this Seahawks team needed. Kenneth finished this season with 228 carries for 1,050 yards and 9 touchdowns. Those 228 carries ranked 11th in the NFL, and he even has 6 games of over 20 carries. And to make it even better, he only played in 11 games this season. But in those 11 games, he was due in for a play like this at least once a week. Here this run is designed to the left, but the Saints do a great job of coming downhill and filling their lanes. So with the vision and instincts of Kenneth Walker, he was able to jump cut this back to the right, and from then on he was off to the races. And just like that, he was able to take a run from no gain and flip it into a 69-yard touchdown. Kenneth Walker finished second in the Offensive Rookie of the Year voting behind Garrett Wilson, but he could have easily won the award. And I'm sure DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett appreciate the space he was able to create for them in the passing game. DK Metcalf is quoted saying he finally feels normal after multiple off seasons of going through rehabs and recovering from nagging injuries. From a pure physical trait standpoint, DK is one of the most talented players in the NFL. DK is coming off a season where he finished with a career high 90 receptions for 1,048 yards and only 6 touchdowns, which was a career low. But his combination of 5'11 speed paired with his 6'5 strength is a nightmare for DBs. Take this play for example. The Lions are in cover 1 here, which means DK is one-on-one on the outside. DK was able to take an outside release to get this DB's momentum going forward before literally shoving him out of the way to get back inside for this 54-yard completion. And although DK has 7 games of less than 40 yards, while only eclipsing 100 yards twice, he was still able to make jaw-dropping plays week in and week out. And particularly this play against the Rams, where Geno throws him a deep ball, and it's actually great coverage to have him pinned up against the sideline. But DK makes an amazing grab while somehow managing to keep both feet in bounds. Or this play against the Raiders where they're lined up in cover 1, and DK is able to create space with his outside release, but more impressively, he's able to hold on to the ball and actually hit the safety harder than he hit him. And although number 14 is really good, number 16 on the other side of the field is no slouch either. Tyler Lockett is undersized, but he's dependable, he can take big hits, and he's an unbelievably reliable deep threat. In 2022, Tyler finished with 84 receptions for 1,033 yards and 9 touchdowns. Tyler Lockett's deep ball ability is up there with Tariq Hill as far as production wise. And he has this simple move that allows him to create so much space at the top of his route. For instance, here against the Lions, Lockett is lined up at the bottom of your screen, and he's able to beat this Lions defender inside because of this hard jab step he gives to the outside. A very small detail that creates the biggest difference. Or take this play against the Saints for example. This is right before halftime, so the Saints are protecting the deep ball and the out of bounds area. Tyler was able to get an inside release to set up his jab step to the outside to get this DB to open up his hips. And as soon as that happens, Tyler's off to the races for a 35-yard touchdown. Tyler can do and does a plethora of things for this offense. Starting off with this whip route against man coverage for an easy 17-yard gain, but also having the wherewithal to realize his quarterback was in trouble and breaking off his initial route to get back into Geno's eyesight for the big gain, and maintaining possession throughout the big hit. But an offense can't be complete if you don't have the right guy at the quarterback position making all the right decisions. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Geno Smith. But I've already done a video solely over Geno, so be sure to check that video out after this one. The Seahawks have always been known for their home field advantage, and they're suffocating like defenses. And in 2022, the Seahawks show flashes of finally getting back to that. And Quandre Diggs is a massive reason as to why. Diggs anchors the back of this Seahawks defense and should really get more recognition as one of the top safeties in the game. In today's NFL, you need a versatile safety, which is harder and harder to come by because a lot of guys don't want to get their face dirty and come in and tackle. But Diggs has no problem mucking it up a little bit, and these 3 plays against the Giants will show you just how valuable he is. On this first play, if we pause it right here, we see that this is about to be a one-on-one situation that the Giants probably drew up this way purposely, with Saquon one-on-one with the safety. What they probably didn't account for though, was that safety being Quandre Diggs, and he's able to make a potential touchdown saving tackle on Saquon Barkley. And these next 2 plays are all about his feel and timing. Here the Giants run a read option, and Daniel Jones makes the right read by keeping this ball. And if we pause it here, if Quandre Diggs would have been out of position and dove down to try and stuff the run, it would have been a 2-on-2 on the outside with Daniel Jones probably scoring as I speak. But instead, Q Diggs stays disciplined, stopping him for a short 3-yard gain. Now back to Saquon. This play from Quandre is very similar to the last. You see Q start to dive down, but once the defense gets pressure on Saquon, he slows down his pursuit. Instead of continuing to come straight down, and good thing he did, because Saquon was able to break 2 tackles, and had Quandre not been there for cleanup duty, Saquon would also be scoring as I speak. But I did say he was a versatile safety, so it's not just coming down to fill the box. Here on this play against the Raiders, he just recently broke down the fact that the Raiders never threw this switch wheel route, and that his actual assignment was the man down the seam. But watching film, he knew the Raiders always went backside to this pop pass, so he knew exactly where he needed to be and ended up with the interception. But I started this video off talking about the production the Seahawks got from their rookies. And I started off by highlighting a rookie, and that's the exact way we're going to end this video as well. Tariq Woolen made quite the name for himself this season as he finished with the league-leading 6 interceptions and became the first Seahawks rookie to earn Pro Bowl honors since 2005. Woolen is a nightmare for all receivers. He's unlike any cornerback in the game today, as the 6'4" freak possesses elite 4.2 speed and was initially supposed to be a work in progress, but ended up being in the running for Defensive Rookie of the Year, which says a lot because Woolen wasn't even the first corner selected by the Seahawks. And once we break down a couple of his interceptions, you'll be wondering, why not? One of my favorite plays made by him was here against the Lions in man-to-man coverage, and here you can see he's in the trail technique, so Jared Goff thinks he has him beat, and as soon as he releases this ball, Tariq hits his second gear and hops right in front of this, resulting in 6 points the other way. And while he did have a league-leading 6 interceptions, he also walked away with 16 pass deflections, and it doesn't get any better than this one here against the Panthers. The Seahawks lined up in cover 1, but Quandre Diggs was on the strong side of the formation, so the read by Sam Darnold was perfect. It was just better instincts by Tariq Woolen to break off of his man and break up this ball at the very last minute. But if those plays weren't enough, this play against the Cardinals will show you just how much the Seahawks believe in him. Here on this 4th and 11, the Seahawks shade help everywhere but to Tariq Woolen. And Kyler notices the same thing. But what Kyler didn't notice was there's a reason why they didn't help Tariq Woolen, as he goes up over Hollywood Brown and comes down with a game-sealing interception. The Seahawks certainly gave the 12 something to look forward to with how they played this season, and with the newest additions coming in through the draft, plus the reconnection with Bobby Wagner, and not to mention Geno Smith coming off his best season and a huge payday. This team should be feared in the NFC and will be neck and neck with the 49ers to win that division. But if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check this video out as well, which is all about a guy who has still not wrote back. Peace.